Hello everyone! If you've been here for a while now, you probably know that I try to search far and wide for odd matches out there. It takes a bit of time, out of my everyday. I'm there scouting, I'm there looking at maps, at matches, checking the top players' profiles and following games. And if you see how many games I'm following, it is over 100. I definitely don't follow all of them, of course. But every now and then I see a matchup that I'm like, what is going on here? And today we have a very odd and special match. I have no idea what happens in this match, but the fact that we have Colin, one of the more unique players out there, a very good player, very good at stalling, a kind of a unique way of playing as well, has a very special personality, I would say. If you hang out on the Discord, you know what I'm talking about. A very funny guy, but very good. And then we have Doomsday 31415, Doomsday for short, who is a good player, does not have a lot or didn't have a lot of global league kind of reputation, I guess. Got slandered a lot because he didn't play and he had like big opinions on the Discord. And then he signed up to a tournament, I think the America Cup, I don't know which one was, 3 or 4. And I think he's been signing up to more tournaments, I'm not sure, but now he's playing the Global League, so I don't know, something kind of itched in him that, maybe I should play a bit more competitive. So, that's amazing. It's nice having more people playing in the competitive scene. It looks to be like some sort of a weird challenge that Colin put on Doomsday, but this is a Colin mirror. It is high funds, and it is a slight rework of a map called Icebound. I will put it on the screen, which was made by Voice of Akasha. This version was made by Colin. He sometimes does this. He does these weird challenges. He kind of changes little things in a map and has these odd matchups. So I thought this would be a lot of fun to cover. The small changes here are that there is an extra airport over here. It is locked by these pipes. You have to break this pipe seam that's also blocking your path. And then there's a enemy carrier over here locking down that airport. There's an additional lab also as well here. And then lastly, there's an additional comm tower here. So let's get into the match. This is high funds. This map is pretty crazy. I've actually never played on it, but I've seen several matches on here. You're gonna have this very late 2-base area that is gonna be responsible for quite a bit. It kind of has to go like to this area. It has to go down here, and it can also reinforce over here to your own lab. So there's quite a bit of a burden on the 2-base, and it starts very slow. So the 1-base over here does have an opportunity early on to get out there, get some captures, put some early pressure, and perhaps definitely seen people like interrupt the airport, and that is kind of like game ending pretty much. Not having the airport is pretty devastating. And I guess like the 1-base can probably push like up to here or something, and then eventually once the 2-base is online, you get the airport and everything, this kind of like pushes back, and it's all about like the results of the aftermath of that whole push and pull from the kind of the different time windows on this map. But here we have a Colin mirror, so I think everything is just gonna go out of whack. We have two very strong players. I think this is the very first time that I see Doomsday playing high funds. I could be wrong, but this is not any high funds match. It is a Colin mirror. So for those that maybe don't know, Colin gets 20% cheaper units. Yeah, 20% cheaper every single unit. And he gets hit with a penalty of minus 10% firepower on every unit. Is that fair? Probably not. That's why he's a tier 0 CO. He's a broken CO. He is not available on any competitive mode. But here they are giving it a go. See what can he do? As we see Doomsday over here rushing not the very first infantry, because it went over here to the base, but the second infantry trying to rush that airport, and then making a tank to defend from this tank that Colin made to sort of try to interrupt this airport. It could have gone like here, right, and then next turn it can interrupt the airport, but if he puts it here, then this tank is going to slap it back. So he puts it in the forest. It can probably get hit from the city. And even if it does, this tank doesn't even... Oh, it does. Okay, so this tank can reach the airport. So Doomsday is going to be forced to attack from the forest. I mean, he'll be happy to, right? They'll tank, attack. But this is definitely slowing Doomsday's capture phase in the 2-base area quite significantly. Same thing here for Jetaquin. He did send the very second infantry over here to the airport, and Doomsday, instead of trying to mirror the rush, he decided to defend. So there goes. We're gonna get a 6-8. It's not that bad, honestly. And he could also just send that tank back, make another tank. Was this worth it to put the tank there and get like attacked by this tank? I'm not sure. Maybe he thought, oh, maybe he'll attack from the city to get that extra defense. I'll bait him into that, and then I'll just go and interrupt his airport. But Doomsday definitely didn't fall for that. We're gonna get an RD over here. Looks like it's being sent to the lab area. And funnily enough, you have a little cruiser here on the airport. Unfortunately, though, from Jetaquin's little edit of this map, this airport is not 6 tiles away from the cruiser, so a copter will not get a boosty from that cruiser. Gonna get a little poke there on this guy in the airport, but it'll be fine. He already got it. He can do something else and then bring a tank, make another tank, and wow, even so use the... Okay, so that was very interesting. Actually used the injured tank to hit this guy that was positioned over here. So now I understand why he made a mech. I'm sorry that I moved kind of quickly. I sometimes do that. I get distracted with certain things, but hey, this match, I'm sure is gonna get way crazier. So don't worry. We're gonna see our first big expensive unit, and it's not gonna be what I like to call chongers, like the medium tanks, neo tanks, that sort. Mega tanks. But we're gonna see a battleship, and there's definitely naval warfare in this map. We also have 2 black boats, one for each player. We're gonna get a little heal there, so that's gonna help speed up the capture of this a little bit. Why was it at 6? Not sure. But very weird plays by Jetaquin. Just putting this tank in range, so now it's gonna get slapped. I feel like perhaps Jetaquin is playing to get more charge than Doomsday, so he's gonna fall behind on army just to get more charge, and then maybe with an earlier power he can get an advantage that way. Can he block? He can. Okay, so he's gonna effectively block out the anti-air from attacking the copter. Nice there. So it's going to be a slightly favorable trade for Jetaquin as he makes a sub now. This battleship is not going to be in time to stop this port capture, nor this one, as Doomsday kind of rushed it with the black boat. But it is definitely locking down both of them. So if Doomsday makes a battleship, he'll be able to shoot at it, and then he's going to use a sub to finish it off, perhaps? We'll have to see. RD's maybe gonna be used for the pipe seam. Let's see what he used the RD, what he uses it for. And they're actually gonna... Okay, so it was an even trade there, tank by tank, and there's no other tank to slap that anti-air, so Copter's gonna have to do something else. He's gonna make his own battleship, so we're gonna get this little stare off over here. I'm not sure what the black boat is doing there, but we'll have to see. And the RD actually went up here, so no busting of this pipe seam. This airport does seem pretty strong. Oh, but I guess you have to take out the carrier, so never mind. And sure, you can take out the carrier, but that is also a lot of charge for your opponent. It's 30k of charge. You get 15k in response, so at least that's something. And we're gonna get a gold rush by Jetaquin as he shoots this battleship that only dealt 3 damage. Damn. He has 1 comm tower. Wow, that's very little. I thought I was gonna do more, but wow, that is pretty bad. This means that this battleship can get healed up to 10 pretty much. Like it's gonna go to 9, and then this guy comes in, heals it back up to 10, shoots at this guy, and that's gonna be painful. He's gonna try to block this black bar. Okay, I guess I see now what Doomsday was trying to do. I think he was trying to prevent Jetag went from blocking off this blackboard or something, but he could have always put it just here on the C tile, so I'm not super sure still. Okay. He makes another battleship and another sub. So Jetag focusing almost exclusively on water. Doomsday is just like investing as little as possible. There's gonna be one battleship against 2 and 2 subs. Like Jetag wants to hammer down the water. He's like, I want to control the water, and with that, I can, I don't know, make carriers and control the airspace, and then I can just do whatever I want pretty much. But it's not gonna be that easy. He's gonna use the power. He's gonna get a bit more cash with our gold rush. I think that's what it does. It gives you 50% more funds, and that's it. I mean, that's it. That's pretty significant, especially here. And the super is something to definitely take into account with Colin, especially in high funds. He gets more firepower the more money he has. So as we get like 40k a turn, you use that super and you're gonna get disgusting firepower thresholds. It is not even a joke. It's crazy. So now make a mega tank over here, trying to really hold down the fort. He makes a cruiser. Damn, hype! Look at that. How often do you see cruisers being made? But definitely viable here because there's 2 subs. Battleship, healthy battleship is not there yet to shoot at this guy. I don't think this guy is going to deal too much damage to this on a port with a power on. Also, copters are going to be a big threat here, so something to consider. He's going to use the sub to hit the battleship. Already does 3 damage. Man, Colin is horrible with that firepower. I guess Doomsday does have the second counter. Jetag still doesn't have this one. Blackboard almost goes down, and it actually really annoyingly blocks off the battleship from moving out. So smart play there by Doomsday, or making good use of this blackboard. And he's gonna sacrifice a copter to get another gold rush. So he's gonna try to he's at a 3 and actually gets the kill there. So battleship is gonna be able to move out, but it's looking very desperate, and there's a mosquito in the room here. Very, very bad for Jetag over here. Like, there's no vehicles whatsoever over here. This copter's gonna get a free hit. I mean, of course, he can make an anti-air, but it's not gonna defend this guy. He's not gonna get this capture, which Doomsday does have. And then, like, very little stuff for Jetag here as well, as you have all of his stuff coming. You have triple copter, mega tank, and bunch of infantry. So Jetag, again, heavily investing in that water as he makes a 3rd battleship, man, and he successfully places this blackboard on Doomsday's port. Oh man, I hadn't noticed, but I guess you have 3 ports. There's a lot of ports, but this one is show locked, so if you make a battleship or whatever, it's just not gonna move. So it is gonna be all about these 4 ports. Now it's gonna be 2 ports against 1. It's gonna be tough for Doomsday to kind of respond to this many naval units unless he assists with the air units. So I'm not sure why he makes another battleship. I would assume that making a carrier would be a better idea here, so you can protect your battleships, or else these copters are just gonna go a bit ham. I mean, you have this copter, but I don't know. So copter's gonna be used actually to attack this copter, so that this copter can now shoot at stuff. But this might allow Jetag now to make a carrier on the very next turn. It would mean, again, a lot of investment. He just keeps pumping out naval units, which are crazy expensive, by the way. I'm not sure if all of you know how expensive they are. Like, these are 28k, these are 20k, and then carriers are 30, right? Like, on land, this thing is as expensive as one of these. So it explains why Doomsday has way more vehicles on land, or I guess air, than Jetag does. Like, barely holding on here, like holding on strings here, Jetag. So he makes a medium tank to try to compensate the lack of vehicles. Gonna make an anti-air, probably to send it over here to assist with these copters. And now he makes a battleship. Doomsday makes a battleship here. He needs to hold down this port. It's gonna be pretty crucial to hold down the port, and makes a bomber. And yeah, if copters are good against naval, bombers are gonna be deadly. So Jetag is definitely going to need a carrier. He's gonna take out that cruiser that was used against this sub. That is going to be one annoying 1 HP sub. It can go and sit right here, and there's going to be nothing that Doomsday can do about it. He's going to block in the battleship. Ooh, actually, wow. Okay, there is... I know, but this copter is still alive. Okay, so I think this copter can easily come in and take this copter out. And now there's a carrier, so it protects this. But this setup is pretty crazy. The action on the water is the main focus right here. And there goes the 1 HP sub. It is going to put an end to this port from Doomsday. He would only need a black boat to every, I don't know, 10 turns or so, refuel it. But for the time being, that is going to be a tile that Doomsday cannot use at all. Because the only thing that can shoot at a dive sub is another sub or a cruiser. In comes the medium tank. This is going to help out. There's almost no infantry from Doomsday. I wonder if he's going to move out and try to get these as well. But you do have quite a few penguins, and now you have tanks and medium tanks. So I think this is going to shut down any possibilities of Doomsday to move out. So I think this is probably the limit of how far he can push. He's going to make a Neo tank though, so that is going to help out. Having more infantry is going to be pretty crucial. He's going to shoot down the injured battleship, but there's 2 more and there's a sub. Will Doomsday attack with the copters onto the naval units or not? That makes still getting some action. He's going to shoot at that battleship on the reef that has a little bit extra defense. I think it's one defense tile, 1 defense terrain. Yeah, 1. It's still enough. And does effectively take out that copter. But because he's shot, he doesn't move out the battleship, so he can't make another naval unit. He has 1 single active naval unit, or battle naval unit, I guess. This one can't move. This one is like stranded, and then black boats don't count, right? But he's gonna vote over here. Everything is out of range. Okay, so the arty is protected, and he's kind of protecting the anti-airs. So yeah, everything is looking good. He's gonna push as far as he can without getting hit by the medium tank, pretty much, and still kind of locking down that airport. I'm sure Jadagan would like to make a copter, perhaps a bomber, and so this already is gonna help to clear anything that blocks the bomber. Yeah, because the only thing that you would use is the medium tank, and then you can probably take it out with arty. And no, I don't think arty and tank takes it out. Anyways, double bomber or bomber chain here by Doomsday. It's definitely gonna be pointing at this or the lab, because that is your only lab right now until you clear this carrier and you go and capture it. So that is definitely gonna ring the alarms over here in this area for Jataguin. The anti-air was effectively sent up here to this area. He's gonna shoot an infantry, leave it at 1. Damn, that Colin firepower really sucks, huh? Especially because he didn't get the second com tower. So he's fighting with what, 90% firepower? Damn. Pretty crazy. So using the power gets him to 100, but Doomsday has both of them, so he has like normal stats on a day-to-day. Now this sub moved into this tile, so that battleship is locked in. The only way to make something else here is by deleting that battleship. This is still gonna incur repairs, so it's gonna cost Doomsday some monies. He did get a little shot on that mech, so that anti-air will be a little bit okay, but the bomber can still go and take it out. I think the carrier is still protecting the anti-air, so a tricky situation here for Doomsday, I would say. This is what having the naval space can do. If you can lock it down with carriers, then it's going to be hard for air units to get there. You can usually air keeps naval in check, but if there's too much naval, then it's kind of tough for air to do a lot. So this is the battle. This is like the battle of the different types of units. You have one player going full naval and the other player going more like air units and more land. So very interesting so far. We're getting close to those supers as well. The Doomsday does have a lot of cash in hand, so we'll see if he gets a bunch of charge to try to use that, what is it called, power of money. And Jitaquin went for a few infantry strikes here, like first strikes that were really bad. I'm not sure why he did that, because now all of them got taken out, and there's 3 nice and healthy infantry from Doomsday that can start capturing 3 properties the next turn. And Meg is gonna sacrifice itself against the anti-air. You see what the bomber does? Okay, it's just gonna move in closer. To take out a carrier with a bomber, you have to do that. You have to be right outside of the range of the carrier, and then move in right within the minimum range to then be able to shoot at it. These guys don't have movement boost, so that's what you have to do. Copters can't even do that. Copters cannot get past the range of a carrier. They only move 6 tiles, so they would go like 2, 4, 6. So only bombers can do that. So that's why carriers can be pretty strong if you get them set up and you get a nice blockade. You get like black bolts or whatever. It'll be even tougher for bombers to get in. And another bomber chain buy here by Doomsday. That part of money gave him, he had like 50k, right? So that got him to like 75, and he's buying a lot. He got a rocket here, got a mega tank, got a bomber. I'm not sure what the rocket is gonna be for, but I guess the terrain is not horribly bad. It's like 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, you're locking down the comp tower. And I think that might be his objective in this area, trying to lock that down, prevent Jetakin from getting the second comp tower that would give him to equal stats, and that way he can ensure this, right? A bunch of 1 HP units that he can use for blockers. Copter's gonna go down to carry 2. I think carry already took out 2, maybe 3 copters. Down goes that battleship with this battleship, and effectively Doomsday has no ports to build naval units. That is going to be the end of the road for Doomsday in the naval battle, as Jetakin sacrifices that anti-air onto this bomber to get a bit of charge. Okay, back on the game. I always hear noises in the living room. I'm like, what is that? What is going on? But I don't know. I think it was the dog moving around. Jetakin uses the power, gets a few attacks over here. New tank's not in range of that mutant tank, but it is going to get blasted by that Artie. I think the main thing is that he's trying to take out these anti-airs so he can start pumping out some copter bomber in this area and really neutralize this Neo tank, push this back, get these captures. They're pretty equal on that income, pretty equal on the army, but again, it is no more naval for Doomsday in this lake area. The only place he can make something is gonna be this port. It is gonna be one single like battleship or carrier, and that is gonna be it. These subs are dived. They cannot be taken out. Again, only other subs and cruisers can take them out. Oh man, another edit. I'm sorry guys, but I don't know what the hell is going on in the living room. There's no one at home except the dog. But here goes that bomber. He's gonna break through and hit this cruiser. This cruiser doesn't have much of a job now. I guess yes against these air units, but that is going to be one dead bomber right there. Man, now Jetakin really needs to make use of this naval superiority. Try to lock down the airspace, help out on the land as well, like use the battleships to stop these captures. It's not going to be easy though, because naval is very limited in what it can do, right? It can help out in this area and this area specifically, but not on these corner sides. I think this artist is gonna go down. Possibly the new tank as well. Gonna make a mega tank to respond to this mega tank. This is a big threat though to Jetakin's economy. So there's actually just one capture that can be stopped by Jetakin. So he's gonna have to pick. Well, I mean, easy choice. Just stop this, right? It's gonna take out one anti-air and try to take out that neo tank. Okay, and uses gold rush. Man, these guys are not using the super. They're just using the power. Just getting more and more money. He's gonna go for some of these interrupts as well. Now there's an anti-air, but there's a tank in response. So, and damn, we have the chaining of the bombers is pretty crazy. Gonna now start to break through this pipe seam, and Doomsday is gonna use a rocket to break this pipe seam, which does it a bit quicker. I think the rocket does enough damage to take it down in 2 shots rather than 3 shots like this already does. So this is going to be pretty significant, and now he's setting up this guy to take this down. Oh, I guess the rocket does both things, right? It takes out the seam and the carrier, so it definitely speeds up things for Doomsday in unlocking the airport, which is going to be very significant. Jetakin's going to really want to have this airport to, again, win the battle over here. He does have the water, so if he can unlock this, he'll definitely dominate over here. I think I've discovered the source of the sound. I don't, it's some metal something that is like moving and it's making noise. I have no idea. Do you guys have noise at your house and you're like, a ghost? I never think that, but it's just like, where is that coming from? Man, and now I know it's right there. What the hell? Why is it moving so much? Maybe it's windy or something, but crazy. Megatank making all the way over here to shoot at this black boat. So it looks like Jetaquin took Doomsday's port, right? Now Doomsday's gonna try to take Jetaquin's port. Megatank dealt a whole lot of damage to this black boat, and Jetaquin did move these carriers away, so Doomsday can reposition these bombers a little bit. But man, we're seeing a lot of RDs from Jetaquin as well. It's kind of a messy fight over here as he makes another bomber. But I think this will be pretty easy now for Jetaquin to clear up. It's been a good job by Doomsday though to like really neutralize this area and slow these captures from Jetaquin. Not having that comm tower, reducing that firepower, and leaving a bunch of like 1 HP units in general over the map has been pretty significant. And not getting this or this, you know. So having that income lead for Doomsday has been pretty good, as he also gets 2 of these, and now he's gonna join cap to get this. So he's gonna definitely be winning in that income department. All this is gonna get cleared. This anti is not gonna reach to defend this anti, so this is all cleared up. And Bomber's gonna try to assist over here, but there's only 2 penguins left. Only 2 penguins to capture these properties. It's gonna take a good amount of time, and by that time, maybe Doomsday can get something over here in this area. This is pretty much what Doomsday needs to hang on to, right? It's these corners. He needs to hang on over here. Man, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but that is like really annoying. More artillery here for Jetaquin. He starts shooting at this carrier. Doomsday didn't get any charge, so that's kind of good timing, I guess. 1 shot more, and that pipe team is gonna be down. And again, no ports for Doomsday, so this is like really funny. In comes a black boat right from this port, because that's pretty much the only thing that Doomsday can make. Landers and black boats. That's the only naval units he can make. Down goes the pipe team as he's going to start capturing it. Perhaps this is going to clear in time so that he can start making air units without getting taken out by this carrier. Oh yeah, I think it's very windy. I can hear it out through the window. What the hell? Might be a storm coming or something. Triple mega tank here, triple bomber fighter. So big chunkers here, big chunker numbers, and a few infantry. I won't be surprised to see some like joining here next turn to get a 10 HP infantry, just to have 1 more that can put some of these threats, like start capturing this or this. Ideally this is the most likely capture that he can get, unless this battleship can like lock it down. There's only 1 battleship left for Jetaquin though, so he's gonna have to start pumping out some more if he really wants to, you know, get some juice out of the naval superiority. But for now, it is just going to be those carriers, just zoning out those bombers. He's going to shoot at this mega tank, and he's going to make another battleship. Is he going to make another one here? No, just a black boat. Okay. I'm going to bring some RDs here to defend. Mega tank on the city. So really trying to set up a defense. I think in Jetaquin's mind, as usual, he's like, if I can stall this long enough, I will win. He is very behind on that income, as we're 42 to 60. Doomsday having these 2 pairs, and then having this pair right here as well, and then you're talking about having these. So falling behind a lot in that income, but they're both very even in army numbers. It's just more about where that army is, right? There's a lot of naval here. A lot of the value from Jetaquin is just right here, and then you have a lot of bombers, mega tanks from Doomsday. So a lot of pressure from Doomsday is going to be coming on this area, and a little bit over here as well. He makes a 2nd rocket. Wow. This is a very odd match, for sure. Colin mirrors be like. We're gonna get a fighters. It looks like we're starting to see a lot of fighters here. It makes sense for Jetaquin to try to defend from these bombers. There's a big offensive coming right here from Doomsday. Not a whole lot of infantry, but enough to start a significant amount of captures and a whole lot of army to back it up. And there's this big split, right? Like these mega tanks, they cannot front shift over here. The only path is for either here or all the way back here. So it is very awkward. You would definitely need to make a lander. I'm surprised he hasn't made one already. Maybe he'll make one this turn, because that is going to help him to front switch units, just mega tanks, artillery as needed from here to over here, and defend this one base, as he has double bomber pointing at it. So he definitely needs this fighter to be helping out with this. He's going to make an anti-air. You know the anti-air is going to die though. Like that's an easy tank bomber kill. You have this other anti here really trying to protect it. You got this blackboard here. Is he gonna make a lander? No, he's not. He's just banking a whole lot of income. And same thing for Doomsday, 118. So they're both saving up a ton of income, and that is probably because they're planning to go for a power of money as we get into this like stally big amounts of army. And as I say that, freaking Doomsday uses a power sword. Never mind. But I wouldn't be surprised that can be the game-ending move. Definitely what Jatagun is thinking about. I'll just bank on a super and just wreck everything. But Doomsday is just gonna go. He's just gonna go what he can get, which is these two properties. Nothing was put in place to get there because of the very aggressive positioning from Doomsday last turn. The Jatagun just like balling up over here. If this was like a Von Bolt mirror, then this would definitely get hit by a lightning. But this is just Colin mirror. And the super is nice and all, but I guess if the unit cannot even shoot at the other unit, like for example infantry can't shoot at naval units, or fighters can't shoot at land units, like you have to have units that can shoot at each other. If not, it's still gonna be 0, right? A whole lot of rockets for Doomsday as well. It looks like he's trying to claw back control of naval perhaps, or try to deter these arties with just rockets to outrange them, as he uses this as Jatagun uses the power. And slowly gonna be moving these new infantry to go for these properties. He's falling way behind in that income. He does have a lot of money saved up. Are they really just like saving up money just because? They're just both banking on money. Like, okay, if you're banking it, I'm banking it as well. They're kind of like trying to hold that thread so that when the super comes online, they can both have a devastating super. But man, that is a lot of cash. Like at 184. If only he had the charge for a super, man. We can pull up the move planner, but like, I don't know, this bomber against this, and if he uses a super, like that is some crazy stats. Even if it's at what, 4 HP, a 5 HP bomber would clear a freaking mega tank. That is insane. Would a rocket, for example, clear a battleship on a port with a super? Of course it would. A 5 HP one would do the job just fine. Maybe a 4, no, maybe not. It has to be a 5 HP. Okay, so a 5 HP rocket can clear a battleship on a port. Easy peasy. And maybe with more money, it'll be even crazier. Doomsday is gonna not finish this and actually gonna go for the comm tower. So really hurting Jatagun where it hurts. He did now get that second comm tower, so they're both equal in comm towers. They both have equal stats. But this is definitely a guaranteed cap there. So that's gonna be 3 comm towers for Doomsday against 1 comm tower for Jatagun. It is significant, but at the same time, that super, again, 1 tower more, 1 tower less. It's all about how much money they can bank on and then use the super. If that's the game plan right now, which it definitely looks like, and as we're getting into a big stall. Rocket's gonna be locking these properties. This rocket is gonna soon lock down this city right here. I mean, I guess this one could also next turn, but Doomsday just way ahead on that income. He can start to rocket lock stuff, slowly inching forward to try to take more control, perhaps go for a lab cap. We'll see if Jatagun, he's not going for that lab. He's gonna need it, or else he's gonna die to a lab cap potentially. And in comes Doomsday to take out that infantry and just gonna move a little bit closer. So positioning, he has a whole lot of mega tanks, right? And there's not a lot of response to mega tanks from Jatagun. There's no bombers in this area and no mega tanks either in this area. So these mega tanks can move like as far as they can pretty comfortably. as Jitaku has like a line of defense of block boats, which is hilarious. Protecting these battleships from bomber attacks, and then you have the carriers behind. Man, what a nightmare. Definitely gonna need more fighters, or just more defense in general over here. I'm sure that Jitaku would like to make a battleship here. The thing is that as soon as he makes one battleship here, he cannot make any more black boats or whatever. So it's gonna be a tough call when, or if and when to do that. But so far, Doomsday, with the lack of naval, doing very well, just focusing on the sides. And the Jitaku is gonna sacrifice a whole lot of vehicles, I think, to drain the ammo out of these mega tanks, or just to get some charge. And now he has enough for a power. He uses it. He uses the gold rush, and he's gonna pull back over here. Just to get more money, as he is at 260,000. He has a whole lot of cash, but we're nowhere near to a super. I'm pretty sure he's just banking on that. He's banking on a super, getting really close to the army from Doomsday, like in front of this rocket, in range of this mega tank and this bomber and all of these bombers as well. Like, yeah, these mega tanks are not in range. You got 3 healthy infantry though, so I think this is definitely a lost base. Jitaku giving up this base. It is not the first time that we have seen Jitaku do that kind of stuff, just like giving up a base. And so we have another hype, very I wouldn't say underused. What's a proper word? Like, I don't know. A unit that you definitely don't see often or ever is a missile, and in this case, Doomsday is going to be looking to push slowly in this area, perhaps lock this down. I don't know, but that's a very funny unit to see in kind of a big map. That is going to be a dead base now for Jitaku, and Doomsday is going to be happy about that, and also going to sit on that port, or fly I guess, with a fighter, because yeah, the port can't build anything, or you can't step onto a port if there's a fighter way up in the air. Just Advanced Wars physics for you. Rocket locking both of these 2 properties as well as this one, so Jitaku very how do you say, disincentivized to do anything. As Doomsday pushes forward a little bit here, that missile is going to slowly move forward, and Jitaku gonna send some of these fighters to take some out, gonna take out some of these bombers. Doomsday is spending some of his cash, Jitaku not, so it's hard to gauge the army values because there's so much in the bank here for Jitaku. Like, he could have, what, 700 in army, which is kind of crazy, and I guess you could say the same thing about Doomsday, or very close. And he's gonna use the power of money again. He's just really trying to get so much money. What is he trying to get to? What kind of firepower threshold are you trying to get, Jitaku? Like, at this point, I think he's just like pushing the boundaries, you know? Like, it's not even about winning. It's about like how much money can I get, and how ridiculous can I get the power spike to be? Like, can I get a 1 HP infantry to 1 hit KO a rocket? Can I get a 1 HP infantry to KO a mega tank on a city? Can I? Is that possible? I would love to see that. But now we're gonna get another gold rush there by Doomsday. He's not that far from a power of money though, so keeping that charge up. And that base is now gonna fall under Orange Star control. There's gonna be 4 bases and 2 airports against 2 bases, and 2 airports and 2 ports, I guess. They kind of traded the equal on production facilities, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. But here, again, slowly moving forward, maybe waiting for the missiles to move, to inch a little bit forward. But big stare down. You got 1 army here and another army here, and this single army kind of defending both things. You do have these battleships as well protecting this area, but Doomsday is not going to push any further than these 2 properties. He is going to try to go for these, that for sure, and to cause a little bit of a pull, you know, from this army. He's gonna have to respond to this, or he's gonna have to respond to this. These mega tanks, as we've seen, can also punch through these naval units pretty hard, and these rockets as well, so something for Jitaku to respect. Gonna get another bomber snipe there. Jatagun's gonna go in here, take a. I think he's just going 4 hits, get some charge, and just gonna get another power. Look. Yep, there we go. Another power. He's gonna be close to that 500,000 in funds. Damn, what is this match? What are these guys doing? What is Jatagun trying to prove here? I don't know. And now all these things are most likely going to die. Okay, a fighter, gonna take that down. Fighting with 3 comp towers against 1. That means Doomsday has 110 firepower on every unit, and Jatagun has 90 firepower on every unit. So very sad stats there for Jatagun. The only thing that Jatagun has in his favor is the fact that he has naval control. And it's very funny because every time they use the power now, like every time it just scales up, man. Like 300, like he had like 200 and now went up to 300 because he uses the power. He got 100k in funds. So they're just gonna keep doing this. They're just gonna keep scaling that money, maybe until the edges of whatever. I'm not sure what the maximum is of funds. Maybe it's like 999, like 1 million. Like is maybe 1 million the maximum funds you can have? I'm not sure. I honestly don't know. I honestly don't play enough casual games to know that kind of stuff. I know Red Halo would definitely be one to know. And Doomsday yet again going for another attack, and his funds now go up to the 500,000. Damn, this is pretty crazy. And both parts there blocked. Moving in slowly over here, this infantry is now in range of this city. And now another power and moving closer to here. So trying to take out this airport. So Doomsday definitely not on the... He plays very different to Jatagun, right? Jatagun playing very stolid right now. He tried a very early rush and kind of very odd sacrifices. Anything to just earn the naval presence. And now Jatagun with how many rockets? Man, 12 freaking rockets. What the hell is going on? 1 rocket for Jatagun. Man, there's so many rockets for Doomsday. That is crazy stuff. But yeah, losing this airport is gonna be a problem for Jatagun. I mean, whatever, if he wants to give up the base just because, it's still gonna be a problem. Now this port is lost, this rocket and more to come can lock down this area. Definitely the rockets have been paying off to ward off some of the arties from Jatagun. Just kind of push the boundaries. And you can see, like, look at this circle, like this circle of red army over here by Doomsday against the ever so shrinking army of Jatagun. Like, she has so many subs and carriers, like 4 carriers and what, 3 battleships, so many black boats. It's like 5 submarines. How many? 6 submarines. But look at this, like, whoa, look at this enclosed. Just the presence of the Orange Star Army here as this airport is now falling. It can get shot down by this arty, but man, Jatagun just conceding so much map, so much everything. Really hoping that that naval can help him control, but Doomsday like not even worrying too much, or just like keeping it in check with so many rockets and bombers, so that they don't like move forward too much, and then going for the side, just like really destroying the sides and taking over everything, as Jatagun is almost half the income that of Doomsday, and their armies are like crazy, 570 and 700, and they have like 400 in the bank. Like they could have 1 million in army value, but they don't because they have so much in the bank. Man, are we ever going to see a super, or is this just going to be like a more accumulation of money, the riches of Colin? Oh man, I have never seen a match quite like this one, I have to admit. So many submarines, and he's sort of forming like a submarine wall as well, putting the black boats on the shoals, which is where these subs can't go. Gonna keep attacking in this area and really withering down the army numbers by Jatagun. And now, wait, I rushed myself there, but Doomsday using the super. And he doesn't have as much funds as I thought they were gonna have, but still 379 is crazy. So I mean, those are spoilers, but that 9 HP tank is gonna deal 8 damage to a mega tank on a base. That is crazy. So we're gonna see some wild attacks right here. Look at 3 HP, destroys another anti-air. A 1 HP bomber takes a freaking wasn't it artillery? A 1 HP, 1 HP. Come on, man. Can an anti-air take out this Neo tank? That would be hilarious. I mean, that's okay, an easy kill. That kills, okay. Bomber, that's probably, yeah, easily a kill. Rockets are gonna move forward now, really pointing at all of these C tiles. So Jetaquin, and he can probably fire back, but then a Neo tank finish, like 1-hit KOing a battleship on a port is pretty crazy. That is gonna be a dead fighter, another dead fighter, dead rocket, dead mega tank, dead tank. And man, Colin super is just wild. Can this anti please tell me this takes out this Neo tank? Oh, so close. Normally it does that, but that's like, wow, it adds a 0 to the damage that anything can do. It's kind of crazy. Wild stuff. He actually goes for it, the 7-4. That is hilarious. Missile finally made its way, but it ended up being unnecessary because he was able to kind of lock it down with the anti-airs and sitting on the airport. Look at how much space is covered and controlled by the Orange Star Army as more rockets are being built. It's just rockets, bombers, and mega tanks. There are 16 rockets. It is literally the unit that Doomsday has the most on the map. That is saying something. And he has double the army size and value of Jetaquin's. As Jetaquin's, most of the army is in the naval, and you have like so many rockets. Look at how many rockets are pointing at all this sea area. You cannot deal with all of them. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 battleships. You can take out 5 rockets. There's still like another 10 rockets that are gonna shred you to pieces next turn. So Jetaquin's gonna use the super here, but I think I know Jetaquin is 100 or 1,000,000% dead right here. He's gonna use the super. He's gonna take out as many units as he can. This fighter being blocked off is so that is so freaking sad. Yeah, he's gonna get a few kills, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see a resign right here after this turn, as an infantry takes out a rocket, and then he can probably call it a day. And yeah, of course, and we get the GG. Damn, with the double missile buy, double T-copter. What a weird game. Jetaquin just being very Jetaquinish, playing very uniquely, and then trying to go for a very extreme late game scenario, but Doomsday holding on, losing the naval space, but then just focusing on other sides that matter more, and using rockets really well actually. There's like spamming those rockets to keep the naval in check, because to be fair, the naval is strong, but again, it doesn't cover everything, right? It's limited to this space. And the bombers, you can easily throw them in if a battleship is unguarded, and so Jetaquin has to be super careful. It's like, okay, you put the battleship here, it has to be out of range of the rocket, and I have to have black boats in front so that the bombers don't like sacrifice themselves to take out a battleship, because I mean, a bomber is cheaper than a battleship, and it will take out the battleship, right? So it's worth it to send in the bomber to take out the battleship, even if it gets shot down by a carrier next turn. So it's even harder for Jetaquin to kind of hold on to that naval space, just because how strong bombers or how much damage they can do. So eventually, I think Jetaquin had the plan of just making a bunch of subs and dive them, because then there's no way to punch through here with the bombers. But the rockets can still do stuff, and the bombers can wrap around. You would need, I don't know, like 20 subs to effectively, you know, protect your battleships. Sure, if you have like, I don't know, 8 submarines dived and you have 4 battleships in the middle, then no bombers can get close to them. You can still surround them with rockets, and then again, it's only 4 battleships against so many other units and so much other things happening in the map. So perhaps a little reminder to everyone that even though you might lose an area, or like this, you lose the naval, there might be other responses to that, right? Sometimes if someone overcommits in one area and you think, oh, I lost this, you can still focus on other areas and still win the match, because maybe the area that your opponent focused on was not that high value in the end, and you can probably get it back after you take up the whole match, which was literally what Doomsday was doing, like just whole, like a moon kind of half circle surround the thing of Orange Star Army. It's crazy, and a crazy showcase of what Colin can do. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this match. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.